What's up, boys? Back out here. I've spent like 3 days just going over these startup maps. There's a bunch of stuff that works on top of each other and all these different values. It's just kind of been a headache. And it's not Jared's fault. He's an hour away and I can't have him come back. So like, here's your warm-up enrichment. And you can have it go to like anywhere you want. Before, Jared had it at 30% more fuel the whole time. No matter if it was at 170, if it was at 200, or if it was at 100 degrees. So I had to taper that down. So it gives it, 40% of fuel up to like 86 degrees, and then it starts to drop back down to nothing. And then this works on top of that table too. This start extra temp is a percentage of how much this map works. And then like here's your crank, pulse. I had to play with all that. I'll leave a link down in the description to the guys' videos that I watch. If you want to try to do this yourself, it's kind of really just a pain. And then this is on top of both of those maps. But these two maps right here are like your initial crank. This was all up, so that's why it was flooding after like 50%. I still don't really understand that. I think that's the percentage of throttle. And then like you have all these down here too. You have fuel pump prime. You can have it prime for 5 seconds. All the way up to 15 seconds. Crank advanced is at 10. You can go all the way up to 15 degrees advanced. You can go all the way down to I think 15 negative. So I just kind of been playing with this. The cold start should be pretty well the same. I really am just trying to work on the warm start, because if you remember the last video I did with this car, anytime I'd turn it off after driving it, it was just completely flooded. There was like a half a cup of fuel in each cylinder. So I just had to immediately stop, because I don't want to have like cylinder wash or anything crazy, and just pretty much start over with this map, which Jared said he would have came down and did it, but it's just, he's an hour away and it's not like he can just come. He's got a shop he's got to run. So I've just been spending like 3 days researching this. So let's get this cold start and see where we're at. Took a little bit to crank there. See, I'm still a little high. I'm still at like 10. I see you watch that, make sure I don't lean out on first startup, because I changed all these tables. I have one timing error. I don't like that. See, everything from here can go down a little bit. Before I was at 13 all the time. Right now I'm at like 14.7. Still not warm. It's 127 degrees. But you can see it didn't blow out any fuel. Right now it's just smoking because I just opened up the door. It wasn't smoking before. Right now it's 15. It's at 140. All this needs to come up just a little bit. There we go. You just gotta play with this. 140 had to come up just a little bit. 150 will probably have to come up. 14. I'm happy with 14 at 158. But I've played with a lot of shit, so the good thing is that Jared's map saved. So I also played with my little bit of a fuel table right here. There was a couple little spikes here and there. Leaned out there for about like a half a second. It's just a lot of playing and a lot of learning. I just wanted to get warm and then work on the warm startup. I didn't really mess with the cold start too much. I'm just gonna have to go and like this one's the big one, I guess. So yeah, anything over 158, I just took all the fuel out. I did have it at 140, like I just talked about. I raised that back up. All this, I want 0% of fuel on top of my fuel map, and just see if I lean out on warm start. So I just idle for a little bit. I'll bring you right back. Okay, it's all up to operating temperature, 174. I just turn it off and see how she starts. See if she starts, because the past couple times she hasn't started at all because she's just been dumping fuel. See, I can never get it to start once it turns off. Like, I don't even think it's these maps. I've done this a couple times. It's just like the cylinders just get full of fuel. I mean, check these spark plugs and see how much fuel I got in them. Because when I checked them over at Adrian's house, there was for real like a cup of fuel in a couple of them. I mean, they're not bad. They're not sitting here soaking, dripping wet. They're a little white. Like maybe I need to add some actually. Okay, maybe I just went too far the other direction. Oop, she almost worked. I'm like almost right there. Alright, well I'm not just gonna sit here and crank the shit out of it all day. Yeah, it's way too much fuel now. There's gotta be something else going on than this warm-up map. Cause I've messed with it, and as soon as I unplug my fuel pump and cuts all the fuel, it fires up. Like something's telling, I guess, see, look, I'm an idiot. Right here you can tell it how long the fuel pump should run. I think the fuel pump's running too long. Fuel pump prime. Let's see how this works. Turn down the fuel pump prime to 3 seconds instead of 5. Okay. And see, she's getting a little too rich because I brought this all up. Temp's almost back up to where it needs to be. We're gonna try this again. I kind of just need to lean it out after having all that fuel in there. I haven't been talking to you guys, I'm sorry. I just been moving it around. It's kind of was idling at like 13, but since I was cranking it so much with so much fuel, I just wanted to lean it out a little bit. Clean out that cylinder a little bit. There we go, we're pretty good. Alright, I'm gonna let this thing run, charge up these batteries. I'm like scared to keep doing this because I don't want to be the reason why I get like cylinder wash or something. I mean, the engine's probably pretty much well broke in. I've been running the dog out of it. This thing's sick, man. It sounds great. I've just been playing with the fuel map, cleaning it up a little bit. If Jared gets mad at me, I saved everything he did. We can start right back where it was when he left. There's some spikes and valleys right through there. I was trying to clean up. I don't know how well you guys can see the 3D map. But you know, he was just tuning mostly while I was driving it. I'm sure he's gonna go through and clean everything up once it's on the dyno and make this like a nice smooth transition. Once I turn the O2 controller back on, it's fine anyways. I turned it off. So as soon as I turn the O2 controller back on, it'll stay wherever the target is. There we go. See, it jumps back down. Okay, let's try this again. If it just cranks and cranks and cranks and floods it, I'm done messing with it too. I can get Jared here. Still needs dialed in a little bit. I'm getting the hang of it. I think it started a little bit too rich still. I mean, I guess we could turn it off and try it one more time. I get nervous. I just gotta get Jared. Jared's the man. You're just gonna have to remote tune and look at everything. Because it's like the fuel pump, I turned it all the way down to 2 seconds. Watch, if I unplug this fuel pump, it'll start up. It's done it every time. It's like the fuel pump's staying running too long. And I've looked into everything on how to change it. As soon as I unplug that fuel pump, it'll fire up. Watch. See? Oh, it died because it ran out of fuel. Now I'll plug the fuel pump back in and it'll start right up. I just don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I'll be the first one to tell you that. I just gotta stop fucking with it before I mess something up. I'm done. I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys got any tips? Leave it down in the comments. Startup tuning fail.